Welcome to the fourth episode of AREB, a video series that will document the milestones and highlights of AREB, an acronym that stands for the Arabic Roots of European Biology, a 3-year research project funded by the European Union within the framework of the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions. My name is Tommaso Alpina. I'm a historian of philosophy and science in the Islamic world and the principal investigator of this 3-year research project. Let's start from where we left off. Can a man be born out of clay? One might wonder why and how this question relates to the topics we discussed in the previous episodes. Well, this question concerns generation, and the theory of generation, both sexual and asexual, is one of the fundamental disagreements and controversies Avicenna tackles in his zoology. In zoology, Avicenna provides a study of the organic body, aiming at reconciling philosophy and medicine through two distinct moves. In the last episode, we saw the first of these two moves, namely the solution of controversies and fundamental disagreements between philosophers and physicians, and we focused in particular on the controversy about the role and function of the chief organs. In that case, Avicenna assigned priority to philosophy over medicine on the basis of a philosophical non-negotiable principle, that is the soul's oneness. This oneness requires a first organ, which guarantees a first attachment of the soul to the body. This first organ is the heart, or to be precise, the pneuma or spirit within the heart. This starting point, which is eventually confirmed by the correct anatomical practice, in particular the observation of the formation of the embryo, led Avicenna to favor Aristotle's cardiocentrism over Galen's tripartite anatomical model, without, however, indulging in the excessive zeal which he criticizes elsewhere. However, solving the disagreement between philosophers and physicians can take many forms. Today, we'll look at a different issue which sets philosophers against physicians, and a different, I would say, nuanced way Avicenna uses to settle their disagreement. The issue is precisely the theory of sexual and asexual generation and the development of the embryo. This disagreement lies in the theoretical implications of arguing for the existence of a female semen and the gradual development of the embryo. Like Aristotle and his followers, Avicenna believes that the sensible organic substances are hylomorphic compounds of matter and form. Matter is provided by the female's menstrual blood, whereas the male sperm infuses the form, namely the soul, into the product of conception. It is no surprise that the existence of a female semen would introduce a third element in this strictly binary paradigm, which in principle could compete with the male sperm for bestowing the formal principle in the embryo. Furthermore, the embryo is the result of sexual generation, which is an instance of substantial change. Like Aristotle, Avicenna maintains that substantial change is instantaneous. There is no underlying substance enduring the process of generation. Something which was not there comes to be because some form inheres in a suitable matter. Therefore, it is crucial, from a philosophical perspective, to preserve the instantaneous nature of substantial change. Now, solving this disagreement between philosophers and physicians is different from solving the controversy about the role and function of the chief organs. Because in this case, Avicenna cannot ignore experiential data which bolster medical theories against philosophical views. Therefore, Avicenna has to build a theory of sexual generation and embryo formation, which takes into consideration the observational data pointing in the direction of the existence of the female semen and the gradual development of the embryo. Avicenna immediately hints at the argumentative strategy he will use to deal with experiential data which can invalidate philosophical conclusions. Although in his time progress has been made in anatomical and physiological knowledge, this does not automatically mean that this new knowledge is incompatible with philosophers, notably Aristotle's, true opinion. Avicenna begins by making a concession to experiential knowledge. Male and female have blood, which is the source, the ultimate source of semen. In both male and female, blood undergoes alteration. In the female, this alteration produces something similar, qualitatively similar, to the male sperm. Moreover, in the female anatomy, there is something similar to the vessels carrying the sperm in the male. Therefore, on the assumption that nature does nothing in vain, women must have something equivalent to the male sperm. However, and this is the philosopher Avicenna speaking, it would be improper to call both what is in the male and the female semen, minan, except by equivocation, because they are two different things with two distinct functions, not to mention that women attract the male sperm in the womb but do not ejaculate. For Avicenna, singling out two distinct functions for the male sperm and the female quasi-semen is the key to keep together philosophical theory and medical observation, and to introduce a third element in the Aristotelian binary scheme, which features only male sperm and female menstrual blood. In Avicenna's model, the male sperm has the active generative power, which infuses the form, namely the soul, in the embryo qua efficient cause. The female menstrual blood is the nutritive matter of the embryo, whereas the female quasi-semen has a sort of plastic power, which is the capacity for determining and disposing the matter, which then the male sperm fashions and structures. To a higher strength of the female plastic power corresponds a lower capacity for fashioning matter on the part of the male sperm, and vice versa. Avicenna solves the related issue of the development of the embryo in the womb in a similar manner. Instead of rejecting experiential data altogether because they seem at odds with philosophical theory, Avicenna integrates them within his theory, showing how they confirm his position instead of invalidating it. Avicenna's solution starts by acknowledging that from the moment of conception to birth, the embryo, then fetus, undergoes gradual qualitative alterations. At the same time, however, Avicenna claims that the development of the embryo entails discrete, non-gradual transformations. Every stage of the development, from the embryo to the complete perfect animal, corresponds to a new discrete substantial change resulting in a new substance which occurs instantaneously and not over time. In this way, Avicenna manages to keep together scientific observation and philosophical theory. My opening question mentioned the possibility that a man is born out of clay. This brings us to another special case of generation, that is asexual spontaneous generation of animal species after complete annihilation following natural disasters. Unfortunately, our time is up. Tune in to discover more about spontaneous generation in our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.